That could be broken out into a couple of different questions. So I guess if that home is going to be new construction, then you would need to first know where that electrical panel is at. And if that is going to be in the garage, I would say do nothing at this time. Don't get your cart in front of your horse, right? Because that EV market is extremely fluid, especially right now. There's a lot of mandates and legislature out there talking about ending fossil fuel usage in the automobile industry. And so where that goes, I don't know, but there's a lot of new vehicles coming out. Each one of these new vehicles, to my point, is going to plug in and have different demands. Right now we have hybrids on the market, so they don't require much of anything. Just a standard household outlet, 120 volt, will typically take care of them. Your full EV stuff, there's a lot of those on the market as well. Those are going to require large dedicated circuits. So the location of that electrical panel to that garage comes into play if we're talking about new construction. Sometimes it's a good idea to go ahead and get those circuits out there, tie them off, set them in a box, and forget about them until the time arises. Then once you've got that car and you know exactly where you need it, because again, those cords, those connections to those onboard chargers are going to be different lengths depending on the vehicle manufacturer. Unfortunately, right now, there's not a standardized location for those or length of cords and or amperage to charge them. Our limit right now is set at 22 kW, so that's 22,000 watts. You can imagine that's a pretty large circuit. So it's always going to require a dedicated circuit. So it's really just about taking the best step that you can, doing the research that you can prior to that time, and then just kind of taking your best step forward. Yep. Yeah, you're talking about a retrofit installation. So we've got a couple of things to consider in that type of situation. One being the overall capacity of the service, depending again on the car and what the specific needs of that car is. This goes back to what I said about not getting your cart in front of your horse, because there could be some different variable points here. But overall service capacity is probably one of the single best or first things that we're going to look at and find out, do we have that capacity? If not, then what do we need to do to get that capacity? And then again, getting that circuitry to that location, getting it where you need it for that circuit. So there are a couple of most every vehicle manufacturer on the market right now has what we call level 1 and level 2 home charging. So level 1 is going to be that standard large 50 amp circuit, 240 volt, similar to what you'd use with a range. And so that being said, these vehicle manufacturers kind of play with each other and play off of each other. Look, Tesla led this market back in 2008. They've been doing this for 14 years. So all the new manufacturers coming onto the market now are kind of looking at them, looking what works, what doesn't work, and emulating some of those installations. So what we're seeing on the market right now, and again, it's fluid, it could change, but what we're seeing right now is that if a person had a 240 volt 50 amp circuit in their garage ready to go, I'm seeing that working with high level 1 installations with almost all vehicle manufacturers. The key point is location. Some of these cords are 16 foot, some of them are 18 feet, some of them are 24 foot. Some of the cars plug in the front, some in the back, some in the side. So the specific location of it's probably the most up in the air. But as far as circuitry goes, that circuit's going to be pretty much the same. There could be some small changes, but for the most part, you're pretty much set if you get a large 240 volt circuit.